Daniel, counting is still underway at some counting stations across the country. Here at a counting station in central Seoul, it's been a long day for election workers, but now nearly all ballots have been counted. Now nationwide, nearly 22 million ballots, or roughly 90% of votes, have been counted as of 1:45 a.m. Korea time. Now, the final results are expected to be out in the next hour or so. In most districts, we now have a good idea of who's going to win. Now, just to give you a brief recap of the ballot counting process, the ballots are placed in machines that categorize them by candidate and party, and it also weeds out the ballots that have been damaged or unclearly marked. Those ballots are counted again by election workers who are overseen by observers to ensure integrity and transparency during the counting process. Nationwide, there are about 59,000 workers who have been helping out in the counting process at 253 counting stations. Now that's all I have. Back to you, Daniel.
All right, thank you for that, Minji. That was our Kim Minji live from a ballot counting center in Seoul. And to keep us up to date on what's unfolding, our Shin Se-min is back in the building and joining us in the studio. Se-min, fill us in on the latest.
Yes, Danielle. It seems like the initial batch of exit polls that we saw at 6 p.m. on the election day isn't that far from what we're seeing as the actual results are coming in. As of now, the ruling Saenuri Party has secured at least 111 seats of the 300-seat parliament, failing to capture the majority as it has initially hoped. And the main opposition, Minju Party of Korea, has so far gotten at least 101 seats, more than it had projected initially. And the Splinter People's Party has performed better than expected, locking in at least 30 seats and winning 25 of the 28 seats available in the Honam region.
Some pleasant surprises, of course. One side's bread is another side's poison. We see very contrasting moods there. Let's take a look at some of the hotly contested regions where there are still tight races as the votes are being counted. We wonder if there are any come-from-behind efforts by some of the candidates.
Right, we're seeing a lot of the confirmations coming in at this hour. With let's start with the Jongno-gu district, where the former Seoul City mayor was a candidate there. We now have a final result. It's most likely that the Minju Party of Korea's Chung Se-gyun will be elected there. And on to Dowon-gu C district, where the co-chair of the People's Party has surfaced as the candidate. He has been also elected. He's a finalized candidate there, confirming. Now to the Yongsan-gu district in Seoul, the Jin-yong of the main opposition Minju Party of Korea, securing 42.8% minutes ago. And Goyang A district in Gyeonggi-do province, we have Shim Sang-jung, the chair of the Justice Party, locking in as the elected candidate there. Now on to Suseong-gu A district in Daegu, we have Kim Bo-kyum, the Minju Party of Korea's candidate, which is an odd result that we see because Daegu is normally a home turf of the ruling party. And in Donggu A district, also in Daegu, we have ruling Saenuri Party camp candidate Chung Jong-sup being elected of the main opposition Minju Party of Korea, securing 42.8% minutes ago. And Goyang A district in Gyeonggi-do province, we have Shim Sang-jung, the chair of the Justice Party, locking in as the elected candidate there. Now on to Suseong-gu A district in Daegu, we have Kim Bo-kyum, the Minju Party of Korea's candidate, which is an odd result that we see because Daegu is normally a home turf of the ruling party. And in Donggu A district, also in Daegu, we have ruling Saenuri Party camp candidate Chung Jong-sup being elected. Now on to Donggu B district, where no candidate from the ruling party surfaced. Yoo Seung-min of the independent, who ran as an independent, is most certainly that he is elected there. In the Jeonju C district in Jeollabuk-do province, we have Chung Dong-young of the People's Party elected as a candidate. In Incheon Seogu B district, we have the Minju Party of Korea's Shin Dong-gyun being elected. Over in Seogu B district in Gwangju, we have the co-chair of the People's Party, also Chun Jung-bae, taking with the party sweeping the majority of the seats in Jeollado province. Now in Daejeon, Yuseong-gu B district, we have the Minju Party of Korea's Lee Sang-min locking in as the elected candidate. In Gangwon-do province, Wonju B district, we have Song Ki-hyun, the Minju Party of Korea, being elected. And lastly but not least, in Busan Pukgu and Gangseogu A district, we have the Minju Party of Korea's Chun Jae-soo candidate locking in as the elected candidate.
Okay, Sammy, now you can catch your breath. Thank you for that long trail of very important list. Now, before you came into the studio, you were out at the main opposition Minju Party's camp, and certainly it was a relatively more festive mood over there, and there were some contrasting reactions in other parties. Tell us about some of the different atmosphere we have in different party headquarters.
Right. It all began at the headquarters of the parties when the votings closed at 6 p.m. on the election day. A lot of the lawmakers, including the leaders of the parties, were glued to the monitors set up at the headquarters as they were closely watching the polls being released by the major broadcasters. Now, the ruling Saenuri Party's initial response was subdued as polls showed that they could fall short of their projection. Now, party leader Kim Woo-sung was nowhere near party headquarters as the gloomy predictions rolled in. Hours later, shocked by the outcome, the ruling camp told reporters that the party humbly accepts the election results and it will be reborn as a political party that communicates with the people and win back their trust. The mood was quite different at the headquarters of Korea's largest liberal camp, the Minju Party of Korea. Lawmakers there cheered on as the exit polls showed they were expected to win more seats than projected. Responding to the exit poll results, especially on the outcome of the party's defeat in the Honam region, the party's interim leader Kim Jong-in said he felt the public's sentiment is a frightening power. He added that the party is remorseful of the outcome in the Honam region, saying that it will take some time to change the heart of the people there. Now on to the Splinter People's Party, who also greeted the outcome as the polls show that it had acquired a number of seats that the minor camp had wished it would take, starting with taking the majority seats in the opposition's home turf. The minor liberal camp expressed confidence in front of the reporters as they have gained the success they had initiated before walking into the election, even without joining forces with the Minju Party of Korea. Now, Chun Jung-bae, the co-chair of the party, said that the minor camp will do all it can to improve as the negotiating body that will eventually become the alternative for the power in the long run.
Well, and I'm sure the candidates and the parties are feeling the truth that the ballot is more powerful and dangerous than bullets here. And we did mention earlier in our newscast that this is a prelude, a litmus test for the upcoming presidential elections next year. So, Simon, tell us, how will the outcome change the complexion of the 2017 election?
With the outcome that we're seeing from the polling stations and the ballot counting stations, it looks like it'll be the first time in 16 years that the parliament, the liberal opposition lawmakers, will become the majority at the parliament for the 20th National Assembly, which will also greatly influence President Park Geun-hye's remaining terms that ends on February 2018. And experts are cautiously predicting that with the ruling Saenuri Party losing steam by not being able to secure the majority at the parliament, that outcome is likely to bring a new paradigm in selecting the next president of Korea and even in selecting the presidential nominee.
All right, we'll end our session